on-base percentage and 16 RBIs in just 80 at-bats. Pitches upstairs. 1-1 now. We'll take a look at Mount Vernon's defense in just a second, but right now, quickly, 1-1, and this one's driven into left, but just fouled.
I like the aggressive approach PCM's got at the plate at the moment. They're swinging the bat early in these counts, not watching too many pitches, and I think, there's a good opportunity to be aggressive when you have a pitcher like Libby Winters on the other side. You don't have to necessarily worry about having to play small ball to get runs in because you're not going to give up a lot of runs.
And got her swinging. 2 strikeouts back-to-back to start off the day. And Mount Vernon in control so far. Let's take a look at the defense. At first, Patton, Elliott in second, Wishmeyer at short, and Rasmussen at third. Gukin, of course, in the circle, and Betcher behind the plate. And that just sails over Betcher. And from left to right, we have Smith, Nesson, and Telecki to round out the defense. After that airmail of a pitch, it's now 1-0 with 2 away. Fouls it.
Yeah, good to respond with a good pitch up in the zone after airmailing. And no harm on the airmail pitch with nobody on. But we did see several runs scored on wild pitches in our last game. And so you definitely want to get away from that. It's hot. The ball might be slick coming out of the hands. But you never really want to give up runs on wild pitches. It's a bad feeling.
And we've seen how defensive miscues can cost teams a match in the blink of an eye. And in our last matchup that saw West Liberty go ahead, as this one's skied and just to the left of Rasmussen, and she had a chance at that one, but looking straight up at the sun.
Yeah, the sun, and then, this wind's blowing out towards the outfield, but that ball's just going to swirl as it loses momentum off the bat, gets the momentum from the wind. Just a really tough play to make there.
And you can see to our left, American flag going straight towards the outfield. So this one's chopped foul. We'll do it again. And Gukin in firm control so far on the season, recording 247 strikeouts. 2-2. Driven into left, going back, and off the glove of Smith. It's into the fence. Stopping at second is Winters, and finally a base runner after 2 strikeouts to start the inning. So 2 out base runner action for PCM.
Yeah, that's a good hit on the ball. I do think that's got to be caught out by Smith in left, but now you kind of just got to shake it off because if you're in the position now of Mount Vernon, you cannot let a 2-out double become a rally, because if you rally and give up some runs here, it's just so demoralizing when you seemed like you were going to get out of the inning and all of a sudden you find yourself in a deficit.
Have a courtesy runner for the pitcher, Libby Winters, going to be Hollywood at second off of what will certainly be an error. But right now scored as a hit. And could be one of those cases where ball hits so hard off the glove that just no chance.
Yeah, and it would gain velocity coming out on that wind, but
a nice grounder to Wishmeyer to Patton, and that will do it. Damage done off the error, but stranded is the runner. We still tied at 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first inning.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Welcome back to the first inning. You're watching 2026 Girls State Softball presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau.
Good matchup here, Mount Vernon and PCM. Some good pitching from Mount Vernon in the top of the first, but
Absolutely. And now we get to see Libby Winters. Started 6 of her 14 appearances, 8-0 record, 2 saves, 43 innings of work, and opponents batting easily .064 on her, 0 ERA and 44 WHIP, as mentioned earlier in the broadcast. First pitch by Winters is right down Broadway for a strike to Patton. Sophia Patton leads off the top of the order, followed by Wishmeyer, Gukin, and Betcher in cleanup, and then Nissen, Rasmussen, Elliott, and Smith and Telecki to round out the order.
be interesting watching these Mount Vernon hitters against Libby Winters, because obviously you said Libby Winters not only doesn't allow runs, but she doesn't allow a lot on base. And at PCM, their batting averages aren't too high compared to some of the other teams in the States.
And Patton has a leadoff single right up the middle to start off the first inning for Mount Vernon. Now Lucy Wishmeyer stands in. The junior shortstop, batting .344 on the year, .414, and 23 RBIs, appearing in 40 of 40 games and starting all 40. First pitch finds a zone for a strike. And for Mount Vernon, runs have been easy to come by. I mentioned it, averaging 8.1 runs per game. It's just an astronomically large number.
Yeah, it's more than one run an inning, and they're going to have to, I'm not going to say tee off on Libby Winters because she's going to give them some problems, but they got to find a way to get past her elite pitching. And I think a leadoff hit is one way to do that. You know, get a runner on base, settle yourself into this game, and you know, maybe even if you can get under one and use that win, take Winters deep.
Winters behind in the count, 2-1, and now evens it up after a healthy hack by Wishmeyer. Evens it up at 2 apiece. Patton still aboard on first with the other pitcher, Gukin, on deck. 2-2. Popped and playable under it, and unable to make the grab was Knapp, and she was staring straight in the sun again.
Yeah, right around this, it's 1:40 now, game started at 1:30, but you know, right around this time period, that sun's going to be coming right down into those players' eyes, and again, that wind is going to make any short pop fly really swirl out.
And look at the shadows. Viewers can kind of see how barely much of a shadow Winters has. That shows you that sun is straight up, and once again, another pop-up. Knapp are unlikely to get it, but DeVore was there, and she could not get it. So perhaps a factor to look forward to for the rest of this game.
Absolutely, and the way it seems right now, any high ball that's in play, especially if you can get that out in the outfield, what would usually be a routine fly ball, they're going to be tough to track.
2-2. Swing and a miss. And Wishmeyer went way out of the zone, and now Winters herself records her first strikeout.
And I like that pitch from Winters, a chase pitch. You've got one to work with at a 2-2 count, and with how aggressive Mount Vernon's been at the plate, you know that if you throw one near the zone but not in it, they're probably going to swing.
Pitch down the middle for a strike. Gukin, when she's not in the circle, batting .440, has appeared in all 40 games and started, .577 on base percentage, and 30 walks drawn. She leads the team in that department. And goes along with 16 home runs and 61 RBIs. So she can do it all as she faces a 1-1 count from Winters. And Winters gets the best of her there. Now ahead 1-2.
Winters has done a really good job of finding the zone, and in the earlier game, both pitchers were struggling a little bit. To have that much control in the first is important, to not feel like you have to grow into the game.
And gets her swinging pitcher-on-pitcher crime and 2 strikeouts, a pair of Ks for both pitchers to start out the first. Now 2 away.
And that's another good chase pitch from Winters. It's high, it's just above the zone. You've got a pitch to work with being ahead in the count, so if they look at it, you're just fine. But if they swing at it, that's a ball that even if they do make contact, it's not going anywhere.
Pitch finds the outside part of the zone on 1 to Betcher. Betcher, junior, again, has started all 40 and appeared in all 40 games. .374 average, skied, playable, laying under it, makes the sure-handed grab to record the final out. And Mount Vernon gets 1 hit but left stranded. We head to the second inning, still tied at 0-0.
Fans, please keep an eye out for foul balls.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
But to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest me. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, you better stake up. Fairway and meat go hand in hand.
This dream is meant for you and me.
Poultry, pork, and
Open that door.
All right, we're going to come out of the ad here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we get ready to start the second inning. Both pitchers flexing their muscles, recording a pair of strikeouts, and no damage done after each team reaches first off of error and single, but it's shaping up to possibly be a pitching duel.
Yeah, and I think, when you looked at the pitching coming into it, that's probably what you could expect. But I will say, I do like how aggressive these batters have been at the plate. And I think you kind of have to be when you're in a pitching duel, because these pitchers aren't going to give up free bases, whether that's walks or easy single. These defenses are simply too good for that. So there has to be some level there of aggressive, and maybe not swinging for the fences, but you want to put the ball in play.
Absolutely, as we get set for the first pitch of the second inning, in is Tori Lindsay, or rather,
Better for PCM is the shortstop, number 11, Tori Lindsay.
all right, it is Tori Lindsay. Rather, the black text on black jersey, very
Tough to tell.
yeah. And that pitch gets away from Gukin and evens the count at 1 apiece.
All black uniforms would be hot on a day like this,
yeah.
where, heat advisories throughout all of central Iowa.
We were talking about it before the broadcast of wearing an all-black uniform on a day where there's a heat advisory till about 8 p.m. is just kind of brutal.
Right, beating down on you.
It's just absorbing all of the heat. This one's driven, foul territory, and Smith overran it. Could have made the grab, but we'll do 1 and 2 again. Again, Lindsay, the shortstop, has appeared in all 30 games and started, but batting 190, so trying to get on base by any means, and she has. On base percentage posted is .352, so very good at getting on base by any means necessary. Here comes the 2-2. Driven, and that ball had a lot of backspin, and Wishmeyer under it to make the grab for the first out.
Yeah, simple grab from Wishmeyer, but you know, after what we have seen with those fly balls being dropped in foul territory, definitely one that helps settle you in and give you some confidence going forward.
They're not gimmies for sure. Lily Knapp stands in. 329, 390, and 384 slash line. And 22 of her 24 hits have been singles, but one of them was the long ball. Swings through that pitch and now quickly down 0-2. Here comes the 0-2. Good take.
Good take, and you know, another chase pitch there, and really, really good eye to see that in.
Hit towards center, and making an effort to grab it was Nesson, but right off the glove, and we have a single first hit of the day for PCM off of the bat of Lillian Knapp. And just for a second, you thought Nissen might be able to make a spectacular play in center, but unlucky.
Yeah, just really tough there. Obviously with the sun, but also that wind's going to be carrying that ball down a little bit more.
First pitch, a strike to the designated player, Camden Webb. The lefty in 6 at-bats has hit .667, but has started 27 of her 27 appearances. Strike again, and now down in the count. 0 balls, 2 strikes. Gukin grounded. Wishmeyer, Elliott, and to Patton completes the double play. They'll head to the bottom of the second with some momentum after a spectacular double play. And we'll be right back with more softball. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Choose from home-style favorites like chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Welcome back to the bottom of the second. Mount Vernon feeling empowered after a nice double play to end the inning. And Kinley Nissen will lead off the second. Takes a healthy swing. 1 strike now. Mount Vernon on their quest to return to the mountaintop. They returned to the state tournament after a 3-year absence. And it's the 10th trip in school history. They were champions in 2022, runners-up in 21, and are trying to find their way back. This ball's fouled. And a fan will get a lollipop for their troubles.
That they will if they go return that over to the snack shack.
0-2 to Nissen. So now Winters will have to respond. And we said early on that this might shape up to be a pitching duel. Who's going to break first? And neither defense showing that as Nissen stays alive just to get me over swing there.
Yeah, and I think, the double play to get out of the last inning was really important for Mount Vernon. You give up 2 hits there potentially, or even you let a base runner advance. They're now in scoring position. All of a sudden you're finding yourself obviously playing defense, but playing very conservative defense. You don't necessarily have to do that anymore.
Popped up, but able to track it down was Nave, and a nice play in right field to record the first out of the second inning. So now Rasmussen will stand in. Riley Rasmussen, the third baseman, batting .350, .423 on base percentage, 28 RBIs on the season so far. PCM trying to shut down Mount Vernon. PCM has been shut down in the month of July, only allowing 1 run in July, and that came off of their win against Newton 5-1, but it's been shutout after shutout so far.
Yeah, and they haven't lost since playing at Roland Story back at the end of June. And there's some good competition on that PCM schedule. I noticed, especially the last regular season game at Urbandale, a 9-0 win over a 5A team is very impressive.
Nothing to sneeze at, for sure. There's a 1-1 from Winters. Nice pitch to get the swing and the miss, and now she's ahead 1-2. Looking for her 3rd strikeout of the day. The 1-2 from Winters. Staying alive. And PCM has been cruising on their way to a state tournament, and Mount Vernon had some trouble in their last matchup to qualify for state. They had been cruising 6-0 and then 7-0, and then winning a close one against Center Point Urbana to qualify for state. So nearly this tournament could have been out of reach, but now both teams looking to return to form. Now Rasmussen has evened up the count at 2 apiece.
And say it's been a really good job for Rasmussen to stay alive in this. Especially you start out your at bat aggressive. You're swinging early. The goal after you give up 2 strikes is just survive until maybe you see one that you like.
And doesn't see one she liked there, as now Winters records her 3rd strikeout of the night. and I'll turn over to Carly Elliott.
Second baseman, number 5, Carly Elliott.
Carly Elliott. 23 hits and 92 at-bats on the season, 12 walks, and drilled right at Malang and able to just chip it towards Knapp to end the inning. And no base runners reach, and still 0-0 as we go to the third inning.
Fans, be sure to
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Welcome back on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we get ready to start the third inning. And it's been a pitching duel so far for Mount Vernon and PCM. Winters and Gukin dealing so far. And leading off for PCM is Lillian Humple. And then Hudnut on deck and Devoret in the hole. Humple fouls one back. Again, Humple is batting 8th and has a .329 average and .443 on base percent. Just goes to show you how deep this batting order is for PCM.
It is deep, and this PCM team has had their sights set on Fort Dodge since the start. Before the season even started, they put the number 125 on their team shirts. That represents the distance in miles between their home field and here in Rogers Park in Fort Dodge. So this team's very goal-oriented, and they've certainly reached where they wanted to be. Now they just have to capitalize on it.
Now finally here in Fort Dodge, and they have the tools to succeed. This skied up, and unable to get to it was Rasmussen. 2-2 now. Again, PCM 7.1 runs per game, so averaging a run per inning and only allowing 1.5 per game. So a combination of good pitching and great hitting. They have the tools to make a run.
Absolutely, and I think, they came up short last year in the semifinal, but they've gotten better. They had a great record at 26-4, set the strikeouts record for the team. And so, this team is very capable of making a run, and unfortunately the 3-time defending state champions do stand in their way if they were to win this game. But absolutely a capable team. And with a pitcher like Libby Winter, you really do have the chance of anything happening.
Full count, and fouled once more, and we'll do it again. And yeah, you mentioned it, that whoever wins this matchup will have to go against Williamsburg, and it's a daunting task, but knowing that you're not out of it, even if you do lose that game. Payoff pitch is fouled again. Lengthy at-bat between Humple and Gukin, but it is a tall task knocking off the 3-time champions, or champions for 3 years in a row. It's not easy, especially when this is their best season after losing a good chunk of starters. Playable in foul territory, and Smith makes the grab to record the out after that lengthy at-bat.
And a lot of praise rightfully given to these pitchers, but man, these defenses, they do not make a lot of mistakes out there.
Absolutely. The PCM has especially been defensively sound, and if there's going to be any difference between these two teams, PCM has 23 errors on the season, whereas Mount Vernon has 52. And the fielding percentage for PCM is also .969, which is phenomenal for a team in July at this stage. This is hit towards center, and Nissen makes the grab. 2 away now. Now the lineup turns over to DeVore. DeVore struck out in the first inning. And now trying to reach on base, as now Gukin might retire the side in order. First pitch is a ball, though. Gukin winds and delivers. 1-1 now. Nave on deck. Got her swinging, and now one strike away from retiring the side in order. Fouled back.
Good cut there from DeVore to stay alive in the at-bat, you know. With just how good the Mount Vernon pitching has been today, any 2-out hit really feels like a big momentum booster.
Just missing the zone there. That was a stone cold take by DeVore. Pair of twos with 2 away. Chipped up, and making the grab is Smith to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Gukin, and we'll head to the bottom of the third. Still tied, no score.
Reminder to fans, Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union heat protocols are in effect for today's game. At the conclusion of this
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Thanks again to the Iowa Farm Bureau for presenting the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament. As the sole title sponsor of Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, Farm Bureau recognizes athletic and academic achievement on the mat and in the classroom, helping to nurture Iowa's future leaders. 0-0 ball game. Annabelle Smith leading off the third. Left fielder has appeared and started all 40 games. Takes a swing at the first pitch.
Mount Vernon been swinging at a lot of those first pitches from Winter, which, you know, with how good Winters is, I don't necessarily hate it, but maybe wait because she's started to throw those out of the zone just expecting the swing.
And now Winters ahead 0-2 now. And both these pitchers have just been in complete control. So now down in the count 0-2. Annabelle Smith trying to stay alive, and she does. Fouls it back.
Good cut there. Good cut.
And Smith leading off, and then the lineup will turn over to Sophia Patton and Lucy Wishmeyer. 0-2. Doesn't quite find the zone. Now Smith will face a 1-2 and will be sat down via the K. 4 strikeouts on the day for Libby Winters. Sophomore is dealing through 3.
Yeah, it's just been a great outing so far, and we didn't expect much less. She hasn't given up a single run all year, so
just one unearned run on the season, but yes, nothing earned so far. And 94 strikeouts in 43 innings of work coming into this match. And this match is the first ever meeting between these two teams. So we're in for a treat. And Winters has Patton swinging rather silly and now is quickly down on the count. 0 balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 from Winters.
Nice cut to stay alive, and Winters still just mowing him down.
And Patton led off the first with a single, and so you're thinking, oh man, Mount Vernon off to a great start, but Winters has settled in nicely. And now she's in a duel with Patton. Oh, 0-2 from Winters. Just floated up out of the zone. Wasn't really too competitive, and now it's 1-2. And just getting enough of that ball to foul it away. This at-bat continues for Patton. Not willing to go down easy.
I think that's some strong resilience there from Patton, knowing the pitcher you're facing, to not give her any easy strikeouts.
And the take there, that pitch just missed that far corner at the knees.
Very good eye from Patton. I wouldn't have been surprised if the ump would have rung her up there, but good eye.
Now Patton has evened the count. 2-2. Fouled again.
I think the Mustangs of Mount Vernon can take a lesson to this. The mantra just be, when you're at the plate facing Winters, just survive. Take her deep into her pitch count if you can.
Two now. And Patton has worked the count full. What an at-bat from these two ladies. And Patton is a 2-year starter as a sophomore, so all the experience paying off. Fouled away.
Still just surviving at the plate.
Perhaps a conclusion to this at-bat awaits. The payoff pitch. And Winters wins the battle. 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, just high and away, put it in the spot where it's tough to hit. And, you know, with how aggressive Mount Vernon has been, you'd have to expect they're swinging on that. Just with how long they've been surviving in the at-bat. So a really good pitch there from Winters.
Wishmeyer now stands in. She struck out in the first. Swings below that pitch, and Winters now inching closer to 100 strikeouts on the year. One. The healthy hack there. Now 1 strike away, and a strike away from retiring the last 7 batters in a row, or 9 rather. Hit foul.
Winters has just done a good job of getting ahead early in these counts, and part of that is that Mount Vernon is just swinging early, and so you're not going to see a lot of balls, but to be ahead regardless is important, because that means you're not giving up hits either.
Fouled. Staying alive, Wishmeyer trying to get something going for Mount Vernon. One-two to Wishmeyer, and way over our heads, and I was coming right towards us.
Yeah, someone back behind the stadium can go get themselves a free lollipop.
After grabbing the bag, Winters will now set and fire. 1-2. Takes a ball. So all 3 of these at-bats so far in the 3rd inning have been lengthy, but Winters has won 2 of them. Can she win the 3rd? 2-2. Got him. 9 straight retired and 6 strikeouts to end the 3rd. We head to the 4th, still tied at 0-0.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Welcome back, here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. We have a hydration break before we start the fourth, as temperatures are soaring through the day. Currently 93 degrees, and that real feel feels like 96, as UV's pretty high and humidity in the 60s. So we were out on the field just a little bit ago, and you could feel the heat just kind of baking in on the grass.
Yeah, and there is a breeze, but it's not a cooling one. That wind coming out of the south, just bringing more heat, kind of feels like you're just getting blasted by a hairdryer or a heat gun.
Yeah. Or it's like when you turn on the car AC and it's just pumping on.
It's exactly what it is.
Hot air. And so we take a look at the previous 3 innings. So far, just one hit for each squad. And it started off with 2 strikeouts for Gukin, and then Winters was able to reach on an error, and then Knapp recorded the first hit for PCM in the second, but then Mount Vernon had a great double play, just what the doctor ordered, and then 3 up, 3 down in the third. And then Mount Vernon, when they have gone up to bat, they've been mowed down via the strikeout. And it started off good with Sophia Patton in the first singling, but since then they've been shut out. 2 strikeouts in the first, and then 1 in the second. And then just recently, Winters struck out the side in the third. So we have ourselves a pitching duel between the Mustangs.
Yeah, I think, you could have expected that looking at the pitchers coming in and seeing just how good they've been this season. Obviously, Gukin with a .95 ERA, Winters with a 0 ERA. But I think that now that we are into a well-established pitching duel, I think both teams expected this. It becomes the first team to blink because you have to expect that you're probably going to continue to shut out these teams if you are either of them, because you have confidence in your defense and you have confidence in your pitcher. But the big thing is that when you do blink, when you do give up a run, because someone has to. There's no ties in softball. There's especially no ties here at the state tournament. You've got to be able to limit the damage, because chances are anything more than a 2 or a 3-run lead, it's almost going to win you the game with how good the defense on the other side is going to be. So whoever does give up the first run, don't let it compound, don't let the mistake compound, and don't fall behind more than you should.
Absolutely, and so far, Libby Winters has probably been the best of the 2 pitchers. She's coming off a complete game, 2 hitters with 18 strikeouts in the regional final. And head coach Shad Hutnut has said she's really been coming along in the circle. And their second pitcher, Camden Wem, is a returning first-team Class 3A pitcher, first-team all-conference pitcher. And that's their second pitcher. So PCM just loaded with talent. And then, of course, Hayden Gukin is at a career-high 892 Ks going into the state softball tournament. And she's in control so far.
I would say, when you talk about pitching depth, I would say advantage PCM. Not saying that Mount Vernon's pitching depth is bad, but behind Hayden Gukin, what you likely have is a freshman in Kinley Nissen, who's only appeared 17 times. She's got a decent ERA of 2.74, but compare that to Camden Webb backing up Libby Winters. It's just not quite the same. So if you are Mount Vernon, you don't want to let Gukin get too crazy deep into her pitch count that you potentially do have to make a change.
2-2 pitch is high and away. And Nave has worked the count full. She struck out in her last time up in the first, the payoff pitch. And Nave is aboard via the free pass. So leadoff base runner for PCM.
And definitely not what Gukin wanted to do there. Definitely tough when you give up a walk, but even tougher of a feeling when you give up a free base runner in a pitching duel like this, just because you know that that's probably not something that your opponent is going to give up.
Just the 15th walk issued on the season, so not something she typically does. And you're right, in a pitching duel, the free base runners issued may prove costly. Driven and caught by Elliott. What a grab.
Just phenomenal from Elliott there.
Had her feet near the edge of the grass and just dived towards second base and able to make the grab.
You know, there wasn't a lot of power on that one, and to track that one in, anyone who's ever dove on the dirt that you play on or in baseball or softball knows it's not comfortable, but a great grab there by Elliott.
Now Malang stands in. She popped up towards second in the first. That ball bounces away from Betcher and moving to second, possibly thinking about three, but staying put at second is Nave. And Nave records her 10th stolen base. She's 10 for 11 on the season.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the first runner to advance to second in this game.
It is, in fact, I believe maybe Winters moved to second in the first, but I'm pretty sure one of the first runners in scoring position for an extended period of time, because there's only one out so far. So this could be the pivotal moment of this game.
Absolutely. And if you're Mount Vernon here, you've given up two bases that really you shouldn't have, on a walk and then on a pass ball. Letting a run score here would be compounding a mistake, and that can be very demoralizing. And then if you do get scored on and the inning continues, you can't let it become worse than it is. A one-run deficit is doable against PCM. Two is asking a lot if Libby Winters is going to be in the game.
100% agree. And now Malang down, and the count has worked the count full. The payoff pitch skied up. Gukin calling for it, but then at the last second, Wishmeyer calls her off. And a fortunate pop-up for Gukin, and now 2 away.
And that is a little bit of the weight taken off the shoulders of Gukin there with a full count pitch. You throw a ball there, you've now got 2 on, only 1 out. There becomes a lot to deal with to get out of the jam. Now you just need 1 out.
That pitch is high. Tori Lindsay, she popped up in her last at-bat to the shortstop. This ball was roped foul. It just hits off the Unity Point Health. Did you say that's like a watch viewing? Or?
It could be. Whatever it is, looks like there's an indoor area to escape some of the heat today, which these fans are having to deal with. And in both games we've called today, there's been a nice contingent from both sides, which is just something that is always fun to see out of the state tournament with all 5 classes going on at the same time. So many people here in Fort Dodge.
Fouled again, and there's a nice contingency of fans and spread out across all 5 fields at the same time, and It's almost a celebration festival of sort for girls athletics in the state of Iowa. 2-2 now with 2 away. Crucial pitch coming. And would you believe it? Another full count.
And I did like that pitch from Guggen. Didn't catch the zone, but that's a tough pitch where even if they do make contact, they're probably putting it low.
And the second walk issued this inning. And now 2 base runners aboard in the 4th. And
First baseman number 7.
now stands in is Lillian Knapp. And Knapp has the only hit so far for PCM. So a single could be enough to break this scoreless tie.
And definitely, you've bent, now don't break. If you're Mount Vernon, stay calm, just focus on the plate, I think, and you should be fine.
That pitch finds the zone, and now a pair of ones. Once more, 1 strike away from getting out of this 2 base runner jam now to send it to the bottom of the 4th. 1-2. This has popped up and making the grab. Elliott again with a nice play going back. 2 base runners stranded after no hits recorded, 2 walks. We head to the bottom of the 4th, still tied at 0.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Looks like another perfect day to get out there and enjoy the summer.
Before she gets in the car, it's easy to choose.
Iowa State Fair, August 13th through the 23rd.
Farm Bureau knows that strong, vibrant schools are the cornerstone of our communities, and that's why they are the proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and this amazing girls state softball tournament. They believe that investing in our youth, we're investing in Iowa's future. 0-0, and there's a hit toward Lindsay. Throw to first, not in time. So quickly, Mount Vernon gets a base runner.
Yeah, and important for Mount Vernon. And, you know, going back to that top of the 4th, Mount Vernon really avoided what could have been a bad situation after giving up 2 free base runners. But they get out of the jam. PCM's absolutely going to feel like that was an opportunity missed.
Pitch to Gukin. This is a strike. So after Wishmeyer gets aboard with the infield single off the first pitch, now Gukin trying to respond back. Both these pitchers now facing some base running adversity, if you will. And this base runner comes with nobody out. 1-2 to Gukin, and pitch misses. Gukin struck out in the first inning, her last time up. Now faces a 2-2 count. And a good eye by Gukin, and now she's worked the count full. So the ultimate pitcher's duel, pitcher on pitcher, a full count with the base runner at first. Payoff pitch. Popped up. And Winters wants it, and it pops out of her glove. No one's at second, and Wishmeyer will be out at second on the force out. So really fortunate that that infield fly just, or not infield fly, but that pop-up just hit the ground, and no one, and I said no one's at second. Wishmeyer didn't advance to second.
Yeah, and I think obviously of Wishmeyer, you might be kicking yourself a little bit, but you have to expect that Winters would catch that. So if you do start to lead off, you leave yourself vulnerable to the double play. So really not much that you can do there differently.
So reaching on that error is Gukin, but force out at second. So still base runner at first with one away. 1-0 and tipped, and Elliott or Mullane can't make the grab, and then Latham able to keep it from dribbling forward, and two base runners in the top of the fourth, and now two base runners here in the bottom. Both pitchers finally getting their first taste of adversity.
Yeah, you know, if you're Mount Vernon, this is a massive opportunity. There's only one out. You finally start to get some hits on Libby Winters. They haven't been terribly powerful, but they don't need to. I said earlier you don't have to play small ball to score, but it's not necessarily a bad strategy if you can single a run in. That's a lead that maybe you didn't think you'd have at the start of this inning.
And subbing pitching changes in today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. 0-1 now with one away to Nesson. Fouled back. So now with two runners on and only one out, a base hit could break the scoreless tie off the bat of Kinley Nissen. And Nissen couldn't get to that pitch, and now two away for Winters, and that's just the seventh victim of the strikeout.
Riley Rasmussen.
So Riley Rasmussen now in. She struck out in the second. Just hoping to advance the runner from second home off a base hit. And Winters trying to keep this scoreless draw going into the fifth. Rasmussen now in a hitter's count, 2-0. Swing and a miss, and Rasmussen just could not catch up with that pitch.
Now definitely some heat there, and a good pitch from Winters to respond after going down to the count 2-0.
Perhaps gonna go back to the well again and punch it in the zone, and instead she goes below the knees and now is down 3-1 in the count. And the last thing you want is a bases loaded situation here with 2 away. 3-1. Just what Winters needed to keep this at-bat going. Full count now to Rasmussen. The 3-2. So now after that ball is fouled back, we'll do it again. Gukin at second, Betcher at first. Or actually courtesy runner for Betcher. And a walk issued, and now the bases are loaded for Carly Elliott.
Well, this is easily the biggest opportunity of the game for either team. Mount Vernon probably feels like they have to capitalize here. This is the first time Libby Winters has really blinked at all in this game. So now bases loaded, 2 outs. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive Elliott is at the plate, or if he simply tries to walk home.
First pitch to Elliott. And Elliott tried to get the scoring started off of that swing.
That was a swing that didn't look like she just wanted 1 run, looked like she wanted all 4.
The 0-1 takes a strike, and now Elliott down on the count, 0-2. The 0-2 to Carly Elliott. And just barely missing the zone.
Good pitch. It was close. Just not enough. And that's a pitch that you can throw with an 0-2 count. Ball won't hurt you there.
Gukin at third. Thumb at second. Rasmussen at first. Carly Elliott stays alive. And Thumb has been ready to go in that track stance at second, so any base hit will probably score 2.
Yeah, she's just waiting for one to get into the outfield and bring home some runs.
Can Elliott deliver? 1-2. Pitch misses way up. And now Elliott has evened up this count. Winters takes off her mask and grabs some chalk and resin and gets ready to go. A pair of 2s with 2 away. Bases loaded. Swing and a miss. Winters records her 8th strikeout and gets out of a bases loaded jam. 3 stranded. And we head to the 5th, still tied at 0.
We'll begin our 3-minute hydration break. The 3-minute hydration break.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Welcome back on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we get ready to start the 5th. And we're in another hydration break, as now the temperature creeping up to 94 now. And we finally got our first taste of base running action in the 4th. PCM had 2 base runners via the walk. And then Gukin was able to shut the door and then turn it over to the bottom of the 4th. Bases loaded with 2 away, and Winters able to strike out Carly Elliott to get out of a bases loaded jam. And 8 strikeouts on the day for Winters, finally eclipsing 100 strikeouts on the season. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And credit to both pitchers, getting yourself in a jam like that when you've been just rock solid all game can do something from the confidence standpoint. But to stay in there and get out of there without surrendering a run, A, it gives you your confidence back, and B, you don't put any more pressure on your offense than there already is. You don't have to chase the game in any way. So really good job by both those pitchers. No one really blinked, and really important that they both settled down.
And the Mount Vernon Mustangs, or both teams, Mustangs, have shown off their pitching muscles, but at the same time shown off their defensive prowess, as both teams not really committing any errors besides the one awkward error with Libby Winters where
hit the glove, it was out and left. I guess Winters dropped the ball, and it didn't really matter because
got the lead runner out anyway.
You get the lead runner out. You're in the same situation that you would have been had you caught that ball.
So it's
just a different runner. So, and again, that's not on the runner there. You can't leave first, because if you leave first, you're going to get thrown out when that ball gets dropped, or if that ball is caught. So, really just a tough situation there. I'm kind of surprised they did not rule that an infield fly. But regardless, an error that's not going to hurt you. And now the chance, if you're PCM, you got some base runners. You saw what Mount Vernon did in the last half inning. You feel like maybe you can get your bats going and drive in a run. These 5th, 6th, and 7th innings are obviously going to be crucial. But the last 3 innings of the game are really what helps decide, if teams are state tournament and state championship worthy.
Now, into the 5th inning, Gukin retakes the circle, and due up for PCM is Camden Webb, designated player, followed by Humple and Hudnut. Before the lineup turns over. So now the hydration break over. Get set for the last portion of the game. And right now on track to get some free softball if this tie holds. Jammed inside and lined right at Rasmussen for the first out.
And not much you can do there. It was a good swing. Maybe didn't come off where she wanted it to on the bat, but good play by Rasmussen at third.
Now Humple,
Left fielder number 10, Lillian Humple.
left fielder, stands in. She flew out to left field her last time up in her only at bat. First pitch to Humple. Had to get out of the way, but it found its way in the zone regardless. One-0. Ball floats away from the zone. It'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, and kind of a half swing there from Humple, and now down the count 1-2.
And if you're going to take a swing on either of these pitchers, you got to be committed and give it the full go.
That's a full go into foul territory, just escaping the fans and landing out of play. One, two. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout on the day for Gukin. Now 2 away.
And I think getting out of that last thing did give Gukin a lot of confidence, because you gave up a few base runners that you really thought you shouldn't, and now having to mow them down to get them out just gives you even more confidence.
Hudnut swings through the first pitch. Hudnut flew out to center in the third. She's 0 for 1 today. 0-1 inside the zone, and now 0-2 with 2 away to Hudnut. 0-2 stays alive.
Hudnut just staying in this at bat. There's 2 outs. If you can find a base runner here, perhaps you can get a bat and drive it a run, but just neither pitcher showing any sign of slowing down at the moment.
Fouled back. Will stay 0-2. And just 3 hits and 2 hits for each team, and base runners hard to come by, coming at a premium. And first ball to Hudnut. One, two. Looks at a ball. Very good take, and now Hudnut has evened up the count. Fouled back again. After the first time through the order, the second time through the order, you see these batters now starting to see her stuff a little bit better and prolong these at-bats more.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you've seen a pitcher, once you've seen her arsenal.
What a diving grab by Smith to end the inning. Smith diving grab will retire the side in order. 3 up, 3 down, and we head to the bottom of the 5th. Still scoreless.
He's getting the detail of the 4 runs. Yes, we go to 4.5.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
Welcome back after that impressive grab by Smith. We're at the bottom of the 5th now, as Winters returns after letting the bases become loaded and then getting the final strikeout to walk away unscathed. And now Annabelle Smith stands in. She struck out in the 3rd. 0 for 1 today. First pitch to Smith. Fouled it towards the dugout.
And Mount Vernon, after leaving the bases loaded, they're going to be licking their chops here, hoping that they can get back out there. But I imagine we'll see a similar thing from Libby Winters that we saw from Hayden Gookin, where you get out of a jam and it just helps you grow in your confidence.
Pitch finds a zone. And there's also the other side of that is you had the opportunity right there and you almost feel dejected that you weren't even able to capitalize on an opportunity like that. And who knows when the next base runners may come, because Libby Winters has still had firm control on this game.
Absolutely, definitely the case. And I think, when we start getting to the third part of the going through the order, could definitely be some more base runners in that.
2 strikes and 2 balls. Tlecki on deck. Swings through that pitch, and 9 strikeouts for Winters. What a day.
Yeah, it's really just been a really good outing from Winters, from the strikeouts to the ability to get out of a bases loaded jam. Regardless of the outcome of this game, both these pitchers have had really, really phenomenal outings.
Tlecki stands in. She is 0 for 1 today. Also a victim of the K. 1-0 with 1 out now. Popped up. Under it is Malang. Makes the grab. 2 away. Sophia Patton. Just one of the 3 hits for Mount Vernon tonight. 1 for 2. She struck out her last time in the batter's box in the 3rd inning. Fouled back in the netting. Oh, 1. Even count now. So now we're getting later and later into the game where those late hits may prove to be victorious, as there's not a lot of outs to work with. This one's skied up, way up, and Hudnut able to grab it to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, no damage done. We head to the 6th. Still 0-0.
This will begin our mandatory 3-minute hydration break.
Life's buzzing with energy. From the delightfully routine, to the novel and exciting, to the truly uncharted. With all that life brings, it's easy to lose track of what powers all those moments, our health. At Mercy One, our caring doctors focus on just that, powering health, from the everyday to the extraordinary. So you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Welcome back to the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament. Number 4, Mount Vernon, and number 5, PCM. Mustangs in a pitching duel so far, and neither team breaking so far. Been a lot of bending of late, but as we head to the 6th, where one run could probably be the difference.
Yep.
We're definitely teetering, though, on free softball.
Absolutely teetering on free softball. And this is where, it comes down to how composed can you stay in the big moments. Because there's going to be some big moments coming up, knowing that any blinking of, any run could end up being the decider. The pressure's on not only these pitchers, but these defenses to prevent that. Because I still think if you're at the plate, if you're Mount Vernon, you've seen Winters or almost two times through. Same with PCM, you've seen Gookin almost two times through now. So you're getting to the point where you're starting to put the bat on the ball a little bit more. These pitchers are going to be getting tired. So it's on the defense now to try to contain those hitters, because I just think they're going to get more aggressive. Both these teams have been first pitch swinging, and I don't think that's going to go anywhere as these pitchers continue to go deeper into their pitch count.
And Mount Vernon will have to follow their team motto of leave nothing on the table. I mean, this has been just everything they could handle with Winters, and then of course Gookin in the circle. And
3-minute hydration break. Our 3-minute hydration break is ended.
You look at the stats and you almost favor or give the slight edge to PCM just based off they're both producing the same offensive output. So on the defensive side, PCM has been technically stronger. 23 errors on the season to Mount Vernon's 52. And then it could come to stolen bases. Only 2 allowed for PCM on the season, 30 for Mount Vernon.
Yeah, and I think that really any base runner is going to be looking to advance, because staying at first isn't really going to it's not going to get you a ton of run scoring opportunities. You're going to have to do something to advance, whether that's getting there on a hit, very unlikely, but getting there on a wild pitch. You're going to be looking for any possibility to advance, and stealing's going to have to be one of those.
Now we get late into the game. Any pitch could prove pivotal, when, as you said, whether it's a wild pitch, pass ball, error, of course, can be the deciding factor. And really in softball, because of the smaller field, that just getting to second and just one hit could be enough.
Yeah, a game like this, it just takes one swing of the bat.
Due up for PCM will be the top of the order. So Ryan DeVore, Kyra Nave, and Libby Winters. So 1, 2, 3 in the order, due up in the 6th. DeVore is 0 for 2 today. Flew out to left in the 3rd inning. She looks at a ball. Really, it's got to come down to one of these hitters, and that's bunted, and this gets away. Taking a turn towards second, and DeVore in safely and right on cue, as we mentioned.
That's a bad error to give up. All of a sudden, you have no outs. You got a runner in scoring position, and
in the heart of the order.
Yeah, and with what is coming up for PCM, they'll be swinging away, because especially if DeVore can advance to third. But I guess she's being replaced by a courtesy runner. But anything to the outfield.
Courtney Cole.
If that touches down, it could bring in a run. If you're at third, and you open up the possibility of getting a sac fly. But definitely a nervy moment now if you're Mount Vernon to try to contain this.
Courtney Cole at second has been a consistent courtesy runner. And Substitutions, pitching changes, and today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. And this is a bunt down. Throw to first in time, but the sacrifice works to perfection, and this could be the moment of the game. DeVore, or now Cole, at third. And now Libby Winters. How ironic would it be for the pitcher pitching a gem to get her own RBI to win her own game?
Yeah, and she leads the team in RBI. She's got 46 on the season, batting .588. So it wouldn't be out of the, it wouldn't be unusual for her, but having this kind of game, if she can win it at the plate as well, just another thing to add to her impressive performance.
Driven into right. It's gone! A 2-run shot breaks the tie. Libby Winters pitching a gem, and a 2-run shot has PCM in front, 2-0.
Home run.
I believe that was Winters' 6th of the season. And big-time players make big-time plays, and that's a big-time play to take it yard. And that's the first time we've really seen the long ball utilized today. Even with the wind blowing out there, she got under that one. And, what had been such a good outing for Hayden Gookin finally gets scored on in the 6th. And that could be the decider with Winters still in the circle.
And we talked about the limited outs to work with now, and we're in the 6th inning. So only 6 outs to work with to try and tie the game. And we kind of, in the break, thought maybe small ball would be it, and we saw the sacrifice to move to Cole to third, and Libby Winters says, I'm just going to go yard.
Yeah, and that was a spot where anything that hit the outfield would have scored someone, but the fact that you're able to get 2, not only a run to take the lead, but an insurance run in a game like this, Winters hasn't given up a run the entire season, or an earned run the entire season pitching, so to score 2 on her in 2 innings seems like an almost insurmountable task.
Correct. 1-2 now to Malang.
She said if they win.
Floats above the zone. 2-2. Lang 0 for 2 today, searching for that first hit, trying to add on to their newfound lead. And she has worked the count full.
Well, it's Monona County, so I don't think.
Fouled right back into the press box. And thank God for glass.
Yeah, and they got a nice little net in front of us here too, and just in case it comes screaming off that bat, but definitely nice to be in the press box on a day like this.
Full count, and Lang just barely got a piece, rather. We'll do it again. Pop, and just out of the reach of Patton. So once again, full count, and still only 1 out, and PCM could add to their tally in this inning.
Hey, if you're Mount Vernon here, knowing that you're now down 2, you do have to limit the damage with only 1 out. Any base runner is a scoring opportunity. That's another walk, and so now you have to limit the damage. Anything more than 2, 2 seemed insurmountable. Anything more than that seems almost impossible with the way that this game has been going.
Third walk issued on the day for Gookin, and now Tori Lindsay will be up to the plate. 0 for 1 today, but she walked in the 4th. Driven foul. And Fan just gets out of the way just in time. Runner on first, 1 out. 0 balls, 1 strike. Gookin sets and fires.
You know, PCM, a really big opportunity here, because if you look back at their season, they've only given up more than 3 runs on the year 3 times in a very long season. So if you grab a third, you feel like you've at least, for the most part, booked your ticket to maybe extra innings, but probably the win.
Smith able to make the play in left, and now 2 away.
First baseman number 7, Lily Knapp.
So Knapp will try and get the runner from first home. A blooper into the glove of Wishmeyer to end the inning. Not before a 2-run blast by Libby Winters ends the scoreless draw, and PCM now leads 2-0. We'll be right back with more softball. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
1927, Iowa started it all.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back in the 6th inning here at Fort Dodge. 2-0 now. PCM able to break the tie off the bat of Libby Winters. The sophomore has been stellar, pitching a gem and getting her RBIs. So now trying to shut the door on any comeback attempt by Mount Vernon.
Coming from Mount Vernon, shortstop number 2.
And if you're winners, I think 3 quick outs here, and you feel pretty good about going into the 7th inning.
Due up is Wishmeyer, Gookin, and Betcher. Wishmeyer, 1 for 2 today, singled in the 4th. After a ball, so await the 1-0. Pitch in the middle of the zone. One. So now 2 strikes, 1 ball. Winters ahead in the count. One, 2. Just high. Wind has certainly picked up.
Absolutely.
And to our left is the flag. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but it is straight out to center. Under this one is Nave, makes a grab, 1 away.
And there are just to the north of us storm clouds that look like they should swing west of us here in Fort Dodge, but keeping an eye on that for not so much this game, but the later games throughout the day, as all 5 classes playing pretty much all day here, 4 games on each field.
Hayden Gookin reached on an error in the fourth. Still 0 for 1 today. And she's hoping to become her own base runner and try and eat into this deficit like Libby Winters did for PCM. Pitch at the elbows and misses for a ball. Even count now on this pitcher-on-pitcher duel. This one's way foul.
Doing a good job just to stay alive in the at-bat. Any base runner is important at this point for Mount Vernon.
And they're capable of it. I mean, Gookin was a part of the bases loaded opportunity in the fourth. They're hoping to recreate that magic here in the bottom of the sixth. 1-2. Can't find the zone. And this went to a full count in the fourth, so wouldn't it be surprising to see it happen again?
No, not at all. These Mount Vernon batters have done a really good job staying alive in these at-bats.
And right on cue, full count. Libby Winters will take a second. Get the pitch call from the dugout. The payoff pitch.
Batters have done a really good job staying alive in these at-bats.
And right on cue, full count. Libby Winters will take a second. Get the pitch call from the dugout. The payoff pitch. 3-2 from with a walk. And so now the tying run at the plate. And Brindley Betcher.
Catcher number 18, Brindley Betcher.
Betcher 1 for 2. Singled into left. And this one into right field, and Nave doesn't know where it is. She's going to throw it to second and misses. The tag is Lindsay, but Knapp able to grab it, and before you know it, 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and that one just took a hop on Nave out and right. But, if you're Mount Vernon, you have to capitalize here with only 1 out. Anything in the outfield will at least score 1. But if it's a base hit into the outfield, you'll get 2.
Substitution pitching changes in today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. And a meeting in the circle. Robin Brand going to take a second. This is a huge moment in this game, trying to maintain their lead. Go-ahead run at the plate in Kinley Nesson. She's 0 for 2 today, struck out in the fourth, but with 2 runners in scoring position, double play not in order. So it'll be up to her to get out of this 2 base runner jam with only 1 out.
Yeah, and I think if you can find a strikeout here, that's important, because anything in play will likely score the next runner unless it's a pop-up into the infield or foul territory.
First pitch popped up, in play. It bounces away. Gookin scores. Here comes Betcher. She scores. Game tying 2 RBI double by Kinley Nesson.
And there wasn't a lot of power on that, but that was just enough. And that's exactly what you need is just a good swing that's going to put the ball in play. And all of a sudden you're tied, and with only 1 out, you might even be thinking you can take the lead headed into the 7th. I believe the first 2 earned runs on Winters all season.
And it comes in the bottom of the 6th when PCM was looking to shut the door on this one and have it be all she wrote, but now back to a tie ball game at 2 apiece. And you're right. Nissen in scoring position, still only 1 away. Now Riley Rasmussen will stand in 0 for 1 today. With a walk, she swings under that pitch. Quickly down 0-2.
I wouldn't be surprised here to see a sacrifice bunt attempt. She didn't show it on the first pitch, but anything to advance that runner to the third puts you in a better position to score.
0-2. Just below the zone. Carly Elliott on deck. One, two from Winters. Just inside. Now Rasmussen has evened the count. She worked the count full in the fourth to work that walk in the fourth inning. And that pitch doesn't find the zone and has worked the count full, much to the chagrin of the PCM fans in the crowd. There's an audible groan.
And a big moment here. You know, you get a second base runner on, and all of a sudden you're really looking your chops at that lead rather than just thinking it's a possibility.
Payoff pitch. This one swung on in foul territory and unable to get to his nave, and it'll stay foul. Would have been a grand effort to get to it, and almost, if she did get to it, it could possibly have scored the runner from second, just how far away that ball was. But nonetheless, Nave unable to get to it. Full count once more. Fouled back. And the Mount Vernon fans to our left, most of them on their feet. You can sense this a huge moment in this juncture of the match.
Absolutely a big moment here, and Mount Vernon can find a way to score. They're only 3 outs away from getting out of this one with a win.
3-2. Another lengthy at-bat. One in the fourth, now here in the sixth in this tie ball game. Winters' 2-run blast will not be enough as Nissen doubled to score Gukin and Betcher. And now Rasmussen with the chance to pass the baton. Three-two. The second walk of this inning and just the third of the game, and now 2 base runners. And this will be it for Libby Winters.
Had a great outing to this point.
She ends the match 5 2/3 innings pitched with 9 strikeouts and no decision, but she could still be on the hook with the loss with 2 runners at second and first. And pitching changes in today's game are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. So Camden Webb will come into this match. She's appeared in 25 games, has started 24, 18-4 record, 137 innings pitched. Opponents batting .202 against her, and she boasts a 1.64 ERA and a 0.96 WHIP.
Well, Webb will have her work cut out for her here, coming into a situation where she's got to get 2 outs with 2 runners on, and only a 1.64 ERA, but she doesn't quite mow them down like Winters had been. Still a very good 18-4 win record. It's got 152 strikeouts on the season. A big moment here for both Webb and Mount Vernon at the plate. Just, you're in a situation now. Who's going to blink? You're tied again. And if Webb can come in and save this just a little bit, you give your team not just a chance to take the lead in the 7th, but stay alive for extra innings.
So now, right now, the head coach of Mount Vernon, Robin Brand, talking with the umpire, possibly some substitutions coming. Right now, Carly Elliott still on deck waiting to hit. And we'll have a runner for Riley Rasmussen. And it will be Avery Pershing, a junior.
Runner at first base.
Junior will be at first. So Nissen at second. Pershing at first. Carly Elliott, 0 for 2 today. Camden Webb's first pitch is a ball. Webb still an all-conference pitcher in her own right, trying to maintain this tie. Double play could be in play.
Double play absolutely in play. And I think you're probably looking for it if you're PCM here. Get you out of the inning. Don't put too many more pitches on Webb in a relief appearance.
Command becoming an issue for Webb. 3 straight balls and only 1 bag to put them before the bases are loaded with 1 out. 3-0 from Webb. Manages to find the zone.
Big strike there. Get a little bit of your confidence back, and now you've got the opportunity to battle back.
Elliott takes a big breath before entering the box. Chipped foul just into the bullpen of PCM, and now Webb has come back down 3-0 and has worked it full.
Yeah, important to work it full here, and it's the best opportunity now to get out of the inning.
3-2. And the bases are juiced for Mount Vernon.
A high pitch there, and not something that you wanted to see if you're Camden Webb on your first at bat.
Annabelle Smith 0 for 2, pair of strikeouts, but 1 base hit could break this game wide open. Smith has 17 RBIs on the year, 1 home run. She could be the hero in a big way.
Anything into the outfield will likely break this tie, but that's 6 straight balls from Webb to open up this game.
2-0. And now nowhere to put him. 3-0 count. 1 away in a 2-2 ball game. 3-0. Walks in a run. Kenley Nissen now is the go-ahead run off of the RBI bases loaded walk drawn by Annabelle Smith, and now Mount Vernon ahead 3-2. They take the lead for the first time, and still not out of danger is PCM. Telecki in the batter's box. Fouls it off her shin. Telecki 0 for 2, but comes in a moment as the 9-hole hitter to possibly put this game out of reach.
Yeah, an insurance run here would be huge, and also would bring up the top of the order.
One to Telecki. Still only one out. Ground ball. Tag at second and throw to first. Double play, and actually she did not get the tag.
It's like it was close. I think just moved the body.
Just able to get out of the way, and the run comes across the score, of course, so RBI ground out.
Umpires meeting to talk about that one, I think.
It looked a lot closer to me, and I, at first glance, thought she got the tag, and then the throw to first would be enough to get them out the inning, but as it stands, and safe is the call. So it's a 4-3 ground out, but it draws in a run. So 4-2 is now the score. Elliott at third, Smith at second. Patton now at the top of the order. And Webb having some issues with command at not the best time.
No, just hasn't been able to find the zone in this inning.
2-0 now. This one's driven. Shortstop throw to first, not in time. Throw home, not in time. Sophia Patton brings home 2 runs. And Mount Vernon ahead 5-2 in the 6th.
And a 6-2 lead now. That almost an insurmountable deficit from what we've seen so far in the 7th. But, after this half inning, I think PCM's probably feeling that they can come back and do the same thing.
6 runs have come across the score in this inning alone. And Patton's infield single, but this one's driven to right. Nave has it. And finally, the inning is over, but not before. 6 runs come across the score, and Mount Vernon takes the lead as we head to the 7th. They're 3 outs away from advancing. We'll head to the break.
Ready? Let's go.
Mom, over here.
Yeah, this kind of thing can happen when you're hiking, but no worries, Mom. I can prescribe something to soothe the itch.
Unity Point Health looks at your family's health from your point of view, offering same-day appointments with expertise focused on what matters most to you. Unity Point Health. Expert care focused on you.
We're live.
Welcome back to the 7th inning. And after an incredible 6-run inning in the 6th, Mount Vernon now on top, 6-2 in the 7th inning. And now what was just 3 outs away from advancing to the next round. Now PCM finds themselves down to the last 3 outs.
Yeah, and just, a great group of hitting there from Mount Vernon. They were disciplined, reaching base by any means necessary with a few walks there. But this game is kind of blown wide open now because Gukin gave up some runs towards the end of the 6th, and so PCM's probably feeling like they can go get just as many of their own. But, with Winters out of the game now, I think PCM, if they do want to win this, you're probably going to want to take the lead in this inning and not try to go into the bottom of the 7th tied. But that's a tough ask. You need 4, and you've only got 3 outs to do it.
And due up is Knapp, Webb, and Humble. So the bottom of the order has to come up clutch to keep this game going. As it stands, 4-seeded Mount Vernon will face number 1 Williamsburg, and PCM will face West Liberty tomorrow.
Big moment here for both these teams. The winner will go on to play Williamsburg tomorrow at 1, and that's obviously a big game. And with the pitching that both these teams possess, the upset is absolutely possible there. But the loser will play West Liberty in an elimination game. So that's the thing about a double elimination tournament is you suffer 1 loss, you're okay. You're not panicking, but it puts you into a position where any game, regardless, is a do-or-die game. So,
and just to catch you up, this game was a pitching duel up until the 4th. 2 base running traffic for PCM, and they were able to get out of the jam. And Winters had 9 Ks on the day, and then drove in the only runs of the game for PCM, a 2-run blast. And just when the game felt out of reach, Mount Vernon responded with a 6 spot in the 6th inning. So now PCM down to the last 3 outs, and now Hayden Gukin, the junior, once charged with the loss, now with the chance to gather the win.
Important moment here, and I think having Gukin, a junior out there and a very experienced pitcher, is important because there isn't a lot of experience on this pitching staff for Mount Vernon. So I think regardless of the 2 runs given up in the 6th, you'd want Gukin out here.
So now Gukin will face Knapp, Webb, and Humble. Knapp is 1 for 2 today. She singled in the 2nd. Or Webb, rather, batting. She's 0 for 2 today. Lined to 3rd. This was a nice play by Rasmussen in the 5th. So has been rather unlucky, grounding in a double play in the 2nd. Trying to change her fortune. First pitch upstairs. (1-0). And Webb looks at 2 straight balls. (2-0), taken for a strike.
Just got to hit the zone as Gukin, Don't want to walk batters here. That's how Winters found herself in that position in the last half inning.
So Webb not taking the bat off the shoulder. Still didn't offer at it, but it's a strike nonetheless. 2-2 now. 2-2 from Gukin. Got her swinging. 2 away. So now after the crucial first out, Lily Humple will try and turn over the order. 0 for 2 today.
But fielder number 10, Lillian Humble.
Is because you have to get all of this crap.
Shot into left, makes the grab, and now PCM down to their final out.
And down 4, you've got to be aggressive there. Just didn't quite get enough lift on that or enough power. And then, unfortunate to go the second out so quickly after the third, but, now all the pressure on PCM at every at-bat here on.
Hudnut. 0 for 2. This is blooped into left, makes the grab, and Smith, an unbelievable comeback. 6 runs in the 6th inning is enough to do it. Hayden Gukin, the junior, able to persevere, and she gets the win.
Solid outings from both pitchers, from both Gukin and Winters. That's Winters' first loss of the season. But that's not it. Both these teams will play tomorrow. Mount Vernon will play Williamsburg simply in an advancement game. Neither team will be out of the tournament in that one, but PCM on to West